This is Lama Tantrapa. Welcome to the Secrets of Qigong Masters, the talk show brought to you by Academy of Qidao, the first and only school in the world offering professional education in Tai Chi and Qigong coaching. To find out about Academy of Qidao's programs and to learn how you too can become a certified Tai Chi or Qigong coach, please go to qigongcoaching.com. Today, I am delighted to introduce to you Dr. Sonia Gaemi, who is a physician in the San Francisco Bay Area and also a producer of a TV program on Qigong, and also doing a wonderful work worldwide, bringing Qigong to the people of Iran and other countries. Thank you so much, Sonia, for joining us today.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. I'm so delighted to have this such a opportunity to get to know masters, great masters here in this conference, and I'm thankful for all beings in this program. Lots of awareness and learning that kept us really connected.
Indeed. Yes, we are at the 17th World Congress on Qigong, and what I would like to jump right into, if you don't mind, is your involvement with Qigong. How did you get started with the energy arts, Tai Chi or Qigong or related disciplines?
I was skeptical in the beginning with Qigong and Tai Chi. So what happened, I became very sick. And then Stanford University, Kaiser Hospital in the area, and as you know, the Bay Area of San Francisco, Berkeley, is so spirituality, and then and also the science always they are ahead. But with this problem I had in the beginning was hard to know. And then the doctors, they realized that this is precancerous, and then if I don't move quickly, it's going to be, my lungs are going to be eaten. Mm-hmm. So I had no lungs, almost all occupied. So then I was almost, when the doctor told me at Kaiser Hospital that I don't have more than 3 months to live. And so, and then the other thing, when Stanford University said I have to take 2,500 milligram of cortisol a day, that I felt so good that, wow, now all of these things is going to kill me anyhow. The doctor said you are going to feel old, your skin is going to grow old, and then your bones with, all of the side effects of medication, and also cutting my lungs, because he suggested to cut half of my lungs.
Wow.
So it was a sound came to my...
The Western medicine, that's the best.
Yes, sometimes. So exactly when he was looking at me and with no passion, and saying to me, "You're going to die in 3 months," and I looked at his face. The good thing first, I had no fears, and then I said, "Can I have a little bit time, like a month, to do whatever I want to do?" And then that was as a result of the sound of the voice came to my system. I have no idea, never that happened to me, that vivid. As this sound told me, "Sonia, do your own wisdom." And I responded, I don't have a wisdom, but I don't remember if I said in English or I said in Farsi. Still, I'm looking for that to see which one I'm more connected. So, but the next day, I was in the plane to Arizona, and then I had I felt I need the element of sun, fire in my body. I had no knowledge that time. It just everything was pushing me. And then I had my backpack, all the seeds I know in the culture, Persian culture and Chinese culture, what seeds does cleansing. And then I left all my belongings, and I also attaching to the people I was attached. So to leave all the stress behind me. And I went to Arizona, and in the beginning I felt I go to Tehran. There is a mountain so powerful, so by the name of Darake, where right now I have my students there and we go up. And then I said, no, this is too emotional, because if I belong too long in the plane, I may be polluted again. So I better just not to do everything emotionally. Just I do some, but not totally. So that happened in 40 days. That the time I was in Arizona, I didn't know it's 40 days. I just last year looked at the ticket I had. It took me exactly 40 days. The 40th days, I announced to the universe that I'm healthy, because my plan was whenever I feel okay, because I was on the wheelchair, then I go. It was a hill. It's just this high hill. If I go up there, then I'm starting to get healed. So when I went there one morning, when I was in Arizona, I had a T-shirt, and then I looked at it and I said, I was screaming, I'm healthy now, and then nobody cared, because there was nobody there. Nobody was. Yes, it's only me, and I came down. I took the T-shirt. I put the T-shirt off there, and I came down. I took the picture of the T-shirt on the top of the hill. Nothing. It said I was saying that I'm healed. So when I came back to Bay Area to go to Berkeley, San Francisco, Kaiser, and then when the doctor looked at, I took the X-ray just immediately after the plane from airport. I went directly to the hospital and I got the X-ray, and then when the doctor looked at the X-ray and told me, congratulations, 95% of your lungs has been cleared. And then, and I was so happy. And all these times I had no fear, 40 days over there. I never felt I'm gonna die. I never felt I'm sick. And I don't know, all of those things is coming just to believe that I'm gonna heal. This is something I have to learn. It's a learning process for me. It's my mission. All of these things I never had before in these ideas was coming to my life.
When did it happen?
That was 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yes. I had my first grandchild, second one, and I couldn't hold this baby 6 months old here. I couldn't hold it. And my other grandchild, the doctors did not allow me to see for 2-3 months. Nobody wants to be close to me. So
were you contagious?
it was, no, they didn't. They were thinking of everything, to keep me out of stress, just pollution and all of these things. So it was, then the doctor said 95% is clear, and I said, wow, so you don't need to cut my lungs anymore. And he said, you know what, even 1% is left there, we have to do it. And the same sound came to me, said, if you have cleaned up 95%, we are going to do another 5%. So it was so strong, that sound. So whatever intuitively I had attachment with my, my inner self, it was so strong to talk to me. just a belief system. I knew how universe wants to me to learn more.
Right.
And I'm very pleased for that disease, because after that anything has happened in my life, I said, if I have passed that, this is nothing.
And so that was your initial encounter with Qigong?
In Arizona, yes, I encountered to Qigong, and also the diet I created only on seeds and sprouts and omega-3 and then spices, herbs. So I created that formula also.
Nice.
And then my book, Eating Wisely for Hormonal Balance, was as a result of that issue, that problem came to me, which 17 publishers, they came to for, they did like kind of, I forgot the name, they say, when you go to Monaco, everyone can bet on your 17 good publisher, top publisher in the United States, they bet on my proposal that time. So Simon & Schuster was one, and then the second one was San Francisco Chronicle.
So they were buying for your manuscript.
Yes.
Interesting. And what was your journey in energy arts since that point?
That point, I cannot think of, I didn't think anything.
Mm.
Then my journey was always go back to, because I was that time also, in nutrition field, and then with multicultural education and nutrition and psychology of nutrition. So I was in the field. The only thing I didn't think, I never get sick myself, but I knew always my mission was helping people, bringing the awareness how important we go back to nature.
Right.
And connect to the Mother Earth. Right. So that was I guess the point. I truly felt that the connection, especially with Qigong, and especially with the seeds from the earth coming, from the sands coming. Those seeds, there are the seeds in Middle East. It comes, it grows in the sand, so cleans the body. It just amazingly, which I start doing this type of thing, and I created the fiber food and protein food with the different formula, which was info-commercial. So a lot of door opened for me.
Right.
And getting confidence. If you want something happen, universe is going to help you. God is going to help you.
Mm.
So that's why it helps my patient now. To give that self-confidence that if you want that energy comes, that chi comes, you believe to that chi, that's going to happen. So the program then developed. I did work on Paulo Freire's theory, if you have heard of, is teach people to teach themselves. Use all the sources people they have from their own culture, and then modify that for today's lifestyle, and then to make protocol from that for as a model of health or whatever model, leadership model. Then you use from the same culture. But this is what Paulo Freire is, a Brazilian. It's a Brazilian philosopher, and so who did the revolution of education in Brazil, and teach people to teach themselves, which is always, this is the model in my life. I believe that. So then I modify that for the weight management, wellness, and then when we had a lot of issues with menopause and PMS, and also formula feeding and infant feeding, I developed the model from that model of teaching people to teach themselves. So, so at this time, I have the same model I'm using for, I use for United Nations here in San Francisco, for T-Walk program, which is 14 minutes of Qigong warm-up and forms. The form is a gratitude form to teach the kids how to connect to the Mother Earth and then with the universe, and tell to universe how appreciative you are from what you have, and then thank from your from universe, thank from God, and thank from your parents, and then and especially your teachers in life, and most of all thank from you standing for your own health.
Right. So
bottom line is healing you. We have to heal you. If we don't get healed, we cannot give any healing prescription to anyone, can we?
Right. Physician, heal yourself.
Yes.
And so you literally heal yourself. And at what point did you actually start learning any type of Qigong practices proper?
Right from in Arizona.
Did you study with any particular teachers, masters?
Yes, my master is Hulu, Professor Hulu. Is it's a HU and HU and LOU. We call her Shimu. Usually they call Shimu and Shirmu in Chinese culture. So the master they call Shimu. So Professor Hulu is in Wenwu School in Berkeley area.
I see.
And the first day I couldn't even stand up, hardly. I stand on the wall. It was 8 weeks. Then I was part of the whole movement of Qigong.
Right, and eventually you developed a TV program dedicated to Qigong.
Yes.
How did that come along?
What happened, it was an earthquake in Iran, Bam earthquake. It was a very large earthquake in Iran. We lost 100,000 people on that earthquake. So immediately I went to Iran and then to help in the earthquake, and I started teaching Qigong there, and I tried day and night working with some people while I'm not here, and I came and I said, I have to have connection with these people. So I had a TV program, then they could see me every day to practice with me, to do Qigong. So that's why when I started having a TV show. So then TV show, because of the Qigong, I do nutrition and then integrative, type of treatment. So I was answering the people's question on their health and nutrition, and also in Qigong. So it was a very successful program because people, they got so attached to the program, and then it's a great source. I'm hoping that one day go back again to my TV show.
I hope so.
Media is a good source of connection.
Yes, it's definitely a fantastic source. As a matter of fact, I am very much in the hub of activity of the Qigong community because of our talk show, The Secrets of Qigong Masters.
You're doing great.
Thank you. I have a large subscriber base, and also people just visit our website out of the blue, just find it somewhere on the internet, and they say, oh, this is cool, I want to download this show. So I think In total, we've had about 500,000 downloads. Do you have any idea how many people your TV program reached?
We had, I don't have a number, but I remember when I was going to E1, even when I was talking, and then people were going back, who's she? Then they recognized me on, on the street, on the, hills. And then I had a lot of packed calling people. My practice just zoomed up, and then selling the books and then DVD. It was some sign of people were kind of, they could they nested on that program.
And it was, you said every day you could...
Every morning I was doing it 3 times a week, doing the, and then they were playing back evening, the program.
Fascinating. So the program mostly consisted of you doing some demonstration of exercises?
I was doing the whole warm-up, and gradually, warm-up in the morning, they loved it. Because Qigong warm-up is amazing. I told you, it's so complete, and I'm hoping this Qigong warm-up starts in every school, everywhere in the world. It's amazing. Fantastic. Yes, and I was doing, then I started doing forms, and people were taping the forms, and doing meditation, standing meditation. Lots of standing meditation.
Excellent.
Yes, and then the first 4 months of the Qigong, when they do, we ask them to do, write on their own, what do they judge? Just writing whatever you judge, judging yourself, judging other people. That is very, very powerful. To see themselves, wow, they become their own therapists. I didn't know I'm, to this extent I'm judging, just so busy with judging everyone and myself.
Well, and I guess it's not only identifying what we judge, but also learning to release these judgments, so that we forgive
negative energies.
Yes, we forgive people who we judged or who we had some harsh feelings for, so that we no longer keep doing that. Right?
I don't know if I guess that's true, because that comes from the awareness, just to be aware, then we take action. Yeah. Awareness is a big key.
Absolutely. And acceptance is the prerequisite for awareness. Because you cannot really pay attention to something if you don't accept it.
Exactly.
Because you are not in a receptive state of consciousness. You are trying to either run away from that or get rid of it or somehow pretend it's not here happening. So in other words, you're not accepting it. And so if you just develop sense of acceptance instead of judgment, the whole experience transforms.
Transforms, yeah.
And that applies not only to other people, but also to ourselves.
Yes.
We can transform our own experience of health and our own relationship with our being if we stop judging ourselves so harshly.
Yes.
So, since you started your TV program, I imagine your Qigong practice didn't stay the same, static. It probably progressed to some extent. What would you say was the evolution of your own Qigong development and how it translated into your work?
I believe this transformation happened, it was 2-3 very stress thing happened in my life, and after that I decided now it's time I start working more internationally. From sitting in the TV was so small for me. I didn't want that box anymore. I wanted to get out of that box. So through United Nations, I have been with United Nations chapter of Berkeley and San Francisco for 40 years, being very active, and then being the chair for women's and children's health and healing. And in 1995, I had a conference that 50 years of anniversary of Qigong.
Mhm.
No, 50 years of anniversary of United Nations.
Mm.
Yes, now it's going to be 70 something. We are going to celebrate in October, 72 or 3, but I did on 50th. So that was, I was working on project of hormone, natural hormone, on phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens just was coming newly to the science era. So the question that time was, everything was soya. Soy was taking over of everything, especially in the California. So milk, cheese, just everything was soya. So my question was, when I was going to, my school for like the bachelor degree for nutrition and dietetics, always we learned that soy is more, it's animal food rather than human food. That was what we were learning. But that was beside and beyond that. In Middle East I have grown, we didn't know anything about soya. Nothing. There is not even existing.
Mhm.
So what my question as a researcher was, I worked for 15 years for Children's Hospital as a registered dietitian. So, and then being the chief clinical dietitian and nutritionist at Children's Hospital here in Kaiser. So, and working with the WIC program, WIC, WIC program, Women, Children, Infant program. And so, on breastfeeding and formula feeding, everything was on soya, everything was on, I was thinking about fiber and protein. And so it came to my question I had. So I never heard from my grandma, from my mother, from my neighbor and the family that all of this menopausal and PMS symptoms and weight gain and depression, I didn't see these symptoms when I was growing and going to university, going to different area as part of a university work. And here for me was so intense. I had a clinic here. I was seeing people, women are coming and crying that they have no energy, they have no chi in their body, and then and sleeping problem, weight gaining problem. So my question was this. Then when I compared the ingredient and the chemical ingredients in soy comparing to the beans and peas in Middle Eastern culture, so I learned that chickpeas or garbanzo, it's very similar to soya, but doesn't have those issue of the digestion and fat, because soy has 23% of fat and compared to garbanzo, but some people they say 21%. Let's say between 21 to 20%, 23%. But chickpeas has 3% of fat. So it means dry, nothing. And chickpeas, when I was presenting at Department of U.S. Department of Agriculture here at UC Berkeley, and then in Idaho I was presenting this grant, and then the farmers said, poor garbanzo. They call poor garbanzo that you are giving this much attention to chickpeas, and then we didn't think it's about chickpeas, this much of information. It's so good, chickpeas, but it's humble. Chickpeas is very humble, so you can add everything to chickpeas, and like hummus.
Hummus is exactly what I was thinking.
Yes, it's just hummus or falafel you make, or tabbouleh you make, or different type of patties you make. So it's so ready to add all that type of the spices, all type of the herbs, all type of the oil.
You can add oil,
Yes.
make more fat.
Exactly, put olive oil, you can put, sesame oil. It makes good, tasty, all type of vegetable to add. So hummus is going to be the future food. So I involved a lot with the natural hormone therapy. In 1995, 50 years of anniversary of United Nations in Berkeley.
Have you ever tried hummus made with soybeans?
I never tried. I've
horrendous.
seen a lot of people they have made, yes.
It's horrendous. I tried it once. I didn't want to do it again.
No, it wasn't tasty.
It just didn't resonate with me, let's put it this way. Or I didn't resonate with that.
Yeah.
But I do love hummus. I also would imagine that there is some other connections with hormones and foods besides soybeans. Any other foodstuffs that people tend to consume a lot that they need to be aware of, that probably don't need to eat so much.
As far as protein goes, or
As far as any type of
phytoestrogens.
Phytoestrogens or other phytohormones.
It's a lot of herbs they have that balancing. Like for example, like fresh deals or dry deals, or fenugreek, or red clovers. It's amazing source of that type of estrogenic. And that I have a lot of tea recipes in my book, and I did in my book, as I said, Eating Wisely for Hormonal Balance. The book I published year 2005, and journaling of that also. I have a lot of recipes on tea for mood, for weight gain, for weight loss, for making more attention to yourself, and then concentrate more, special in the terms of the kids. A different type of and one of my tea was named that Peaceful and Happy Tea in Bosnia's war. United Nations, when they were in this negotiation to end, that they served that tea, and they called Peaceful and Happy Tea.
Wow.
So tea is a fascinating food beside garbanzo, because you can add everything as a potion, to make a potion, and then you can have all day. And I heard today that even some of these greens, like mint and the mint family, they are very high potent, that even they can they clean up some the radiation in the system that it conquering to us. But back to your question, with the United Nations, when we did that program, I did this hormonal program, then I came up with this 14 minutes of walking project for schools, and I started here in San Francisco, and I expanded that to LA. I went to LA, and to LA some schools, and also in the parks I started. And then the Iran BAM started, so I went there, and I started in the parks, especially there is a park, national park, I started there. And that time was so hard for women to be come and do any type of the movement, but I don't know, I guess the Qigong has been so well taken, and we never had issue with people or governmental issue, we never had. But I had one occasion in LA, when I was in one of the park in LA, we were doing Qigong, and the police came and then said, we cannot do here because this is a class. I said, okay, that's a class, but we don't charge. We are doing the exercise. Anyhow, they stopped our class in the LA Valley area, and so then the mayor called me, said, we welcome you to come back to do this again. I guess they got educated. That's good when we are waving that chi to everywhere to bring more chi to the area.
They recognize the folly of their ways.
But in Iran right now, I'm doing this project I'm doing right now, which I did, and I have introduced to India and also in Paris, in Normandy, and in Azerbaijan, and that is on preventative medicine, and then this program we are doing with the gratitude. It's the name is Pishgiri Sepas, and so means prevention and gratitude. That makes to keep people young, especially in a school project. So what we are doing right now, creating job by training the coach, the lifestyle coach or self-healing coach, and then as well as when they are healed themselves, they can give that to schools, to the children. So the coach taking the test to be free of any, uncomfortable chi. So become so healthy themselves, bodily and mindly, to feel good, empower. Then we send them to the school, and they do that 15 minutes of the program in the morning to teach how to show your appreciation, and that is up to and bringing to Lower Dantier and making this from the governor meridians, and then bringing this chi and making two extensive chi and putting in their kidney. Kids, they love that, and bringing all the negative energy and chi outside. And so when they do this chi, because they are standing under K1, on their feet, up under the
tips of the toes.
The tips of the toe, when the chi, whole thing drops, and they love that. But this is very powerful for their heart also. At the same time, this is opening the wings, opening the lungs, and increasing the lung capacity for getting more oxygen to exhale. So that's what I have from what the doctor told me, that you have 3 months, and then that was just beginning, and I'm taking to schools through United Nations, and then now in the Qigong conference, what we were talking with, like tonight we had dinner, we were talking, and then to extending that more in the world project for the schools. We have having the breathing exercise for in the morning to schools, and also having the organic breakfast or snack for student, which is based on the plant organic food.
Wonderful.
That's.
I feel like going back to school if there's going to be that happening there.
No, you don't need to go back. So you have a heart, and you have that amazing healing power. So, and also being compassionate to this field. That's all we need. We don't need other tools. Is that right?
I think also having clarity of our purpose is important, and also understanding of law of cause and effect, so that we understand that most of our troubles are caused by our own ignorance.
Exactly.
And if we understand better the cause and effect, we see that, oh, I do this thing and I get these results. Now if I do that thing,
I get those results.
Yes, exactly.
Now, if I want those results, but I keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting those results,
It's
that's insanity.
Yes, that's what we are going. But I tell you, very interesting part
Yeah.
is on Qigong. This Qigong is a medical Qigong, and the part is wild geese Qigong, Dayan Qigong,
Yeah.
which is 264 forms, which is very respectful in China, and even government, which are doing the Chinese medicine, mainly on acupuncture, it has been adapted a lot from each one. So what's happening? They have a seven lessons, the geese, and as you know, the geese are flying in V shape, and they have a leader here.
Right.
And whenever leader, we don't know when, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 1 year, we have no idea. Changing,
Switch.
the next one is coming, and this one going to the last. And one of the geese, when it's dying or injured or whatever, goes down. If you've seen the movie by the name of the Wings of Migration, I really highly suggest everybody should see that.
Actually, I have seen the one.
You've seen.
Yes.
There is no way, I guess, because they had a movie, the camera inside in the stomach of geese when they were flying. It took them 15 years to do this documentary, The Wings of Migration. When your wings migrate, which I took that migration in Farsi language, we call it قاسهای مهاجر, the migrate geese. We don't
Yeah.
call wild, we call migrate, because migration is from your inner self. You are migrating.
Oh,
This
and
is a
domestic-
journey. Yes.
Domestic geese don't migrate, so that's kind of
Wild one.
oxymoron.
Yes.
Trying to call those migrating geese wild geese, it's obvious they're wild.
Yes.
Now, when you look at this practice of Qigong today, you can probably see that there is certain continuation of that evolution of your work. And if I ask you to imagine for a moment where you would like to be a year from now in terms of your work in this field, where would you say you would like to be?
I think I'm right there right now. That's my attitude. Whatever always I do, I'm very happy with that moment. I don't want to go for result. What I'm doing in my power, I'm doing right now. It just I don't. I think it's a movement started already, and where we are going is not measurable for me, because I always want to see. As I said, we want to go to the whole universe. For me, universe is universe right now. I'm talking to you.
Right.
That's universe. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, how many schools I go next year this time. It's this is also the way you, as a Qigong practitioner, you should think that we shouldn't go for result. We should be happy for the moment. But as long as you put your all beings on that project at this moment, I feel I'm doing in my power everything I can. Because right now I'm traveling, and then for me is I'm totally detached from everything. And that was what happened, that this Qigong for me, this detachment. So I'm already geese, I'm migrating. So what else do I want? If the universe wants to take that school project and then go all over the world, just it's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen, I'm not gonna attach to that.
Well, I wasn't asking about attachment or results, because you can still have a dream or have some certain insight into what you would like to achieve
I like, yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you have to get attached to that dream.
No, exactly. It's what I would like to see, to start at least more cities in Iran to involve, which I have right now. One of the best cities is Shiraz, Isfahan. People, they know about those cities. I'm going to Tabriz, and I've done in Kerman, in Yazd. So I like to be, I have enough coach, lifestyle, self-healing coach, then they're empowered, and then they can do, and also the Iranian Federation to Wosho to let us to open more our wings to do. We are doing the best right now, just promoting the health and being, nothing else. So I'm hoping that they support us more in this project, and we get more schools, and then help me to do this nutrition program in schools.
Right.
That's my dream, to do this nutrition program, because I see milk is not going to help the kids. Vitamin D it's gonna be, actually they had a lot of side effect, even though they think everybody's taking vitamin D. Vitamin D is a mandatory right now to give to the kids in Iran.
And D3?
Yes, D3, and also the big money they have put for milk, to give milk, or I don't know, dairy product, which I don't like none of those at this time. I'm hoping that I think at least I have it, kind of effect on that decision to have true good nutrition morning menu planning for the kids, and it's plant-based. So that's my
No
dream.
dairy.
Dairy, Asian, they don't have a enzyme for dairies. Especially the kids, they are coming to the school. If the family, they cannot afford to give a milk to their kids till coming to the school. They are 6 years old. So there is enzymes.
They're not used to it.
No, and I see the kids, they don't like it when I ask them, and I ask them, what's the good, nutrition? I can send you some picture. I can send you when I have schools is coming to me, the whole 100 of the school children coming, and they bring their snack. I ask them to bring their snack, and all they are bringing junk, all junk. And when I ask them, what's the healthy one,
An apple?
yes, they don't know anything but apple, and they don't like apple.
No, and how about goat milk, for example? Is it still not feasible?
It's goat milk is more digested wise, is much more, but it's so hard to have because they don't raise goats.
In Iran?
In Iran they do, but it's not like feeding, having a milk for the whole country with goat. Goat has been used as a therapeutically. Like the kids, they have an allergy and they cannot take like soy. At this time, I'm going to Shiraz University in the psychology department in 10 days. So I'm giving the lecture on breastfeeding or formula feeding. And what's the vision on breastfeeding and formula feeding in the world. I did this research project like 30 years ago. I did interview, like I said, 2,000 people, and then mostly refugee women to see how it affects the cultural changes. So I'm giving that lecture to see people, they don't have now they have a problem. Now the society, the scientific society, and then they know soya is the issue, raising kids with the soy, it's going to affect, especially with the GMO problem we have.
Right.
Not organic, GMO, all of these things, the baby, infant, using those type of milk is going to be future problem that we have a lot right now. In Iran, very high percentage of cancer is happening.
Because of that?
I don't know. We have to get research on that to, I can say, is what's the cause. But it's a lot of different causes for that. I can say it's not only environmental issue, it's not only stress from the mother, it's looking at the diet has totally changed, and then movement, and then internet, all of these things as a one thing. But
Well, I don't know if internet can cause cancer, but I can certainly see it can cause a lot of other issues. For example, eyesight. If kids are constantly looking at screens, their eyesight is going to get worse and worse very quickly.
my eyesight is worse.
Now, let me ask you this, and this may or may not be a question you want to answer. With a relatively recent easing out or thawing out of the relationship between the United States and Iran, and lifting of the embargo, at least to some extent, did it become any easier for you to come to Iran as an American physician, or it's about the same, or did it get even more challenging? What would you say?
First of all, after all of lifting all of this sanction from Iran, I have left Iran 3 months ago, so I haven't. I'm going now, so I can answer this question better. But honestly, it's not anything. I don't want to judge or anything. I've lived in I have lived most of my life here in United States. I have been like 40 years before revolution. I came to United States, so I know this culture more in terms of legal issues and everything than Iranian culture. But as a woman, I have written the book. I don't want to open up that part. It's my own life story. It's amazing. So as a woman, I have a voice in Iran. Since I don't tell you the story, so a lot of people, they think, whoa, how come she's saying such a thing? First of all, people, they judge because mostly what they learn is from media. In Iran, easily I can go to talk to the judge. I open the court, I go to talk to the judge, sitting next to the judge, and then talking, not to one, to several judges, because I believe if we want to do some movement, we have to work on family law also. So I go a lot to see the problem people they have in the family law courts to talk to people. That's amazing. That's helping me a lot to how to pinpoint the problems and then have solution for those problems. So I'm totally welcome anywhere I go. From here I decide when I go to Iran. I decide if you know the minister of like health, and they will say, oh, I make an appointment for you. You can see tomorrow morning, like that. Tomorrow morning I'm with them. It just all the doors are open, and then for me, because I don't believe to politics at all. All of this. One thing I learned, because my father was in Russia, was communist, with all of these things. So I saw what has happened. It's an ego of people is playing all of this politics. It's all ego, and I'm trying to detach with ego. Politics doesn't. It's going to take my time life. I don't want that. I love to be with the kids. I love to be with the children.
Right.
I love to be with the birds. I love to just, the life I have right now. It's just free life. And this is just because of what has happened to me in life. Several good things happened to me. So, but possibly my vision has changed. You may say, well, this is not right. As a woman, you say, I don't mind to have even blankets, but my mission is helping the kids to grow healthy. I don't want the kids to hear from childhood they are terrorists. Those are our kids. We don't want to raise the terrorists. And tomorrow what's going to be whole universes? We are not going to have a safe life. I want to bring the peace on kids just to love, to bring love to their life. What I'm saying, gratitude, say thank God with everything you have. Kids, they don't see everything they have. If they don't have the mobile, is not, the updated, they are not happy in life. Even the poor people, poor kids, they want to have, this in their hand. So I want to tell them, make them be close to the Mother Earth, to see how much this Mother Earth is giving us. Everything we have.
For that.
And they're grateful to this oxygen, to this sun. If the oxygen doesn't work, we have to find the ways, rather than all the time blaming. I'm saying, when we blame anyone, 4 of them is coming to me. 1 is coming to you, 4 is me. I have to take that responsibility. That's why we work with the kids to clean up all the garbage, to stand on the line, to go on the pavement in the street, and then don't throw garbage. It's small things to keep them responsible for this universe, to love life, to love themselves, to be with this internet I love it, one thing about internet, because we have one world right now.
Right.
We are all one right now.
Well, and as the Dalai Lama says, that if we teach children in schools meditation, we will have world peace. So if we start in Iran, it's just as good place as any, where children may learn how to meditate, how to practice Qigong, how to practice gratitude, and we will have a world peace. Good place to start from.
Iran can be a model.
Exactly.
That's possibly, that can be my dream, that Iran can be a model, because the model I have developed, it's in my book, Women Eating Wisely for Hormonal Balance. On the top, 4 elements. It's the earth, is the water, is oxygen, and what else?
Fire.
Fire. We need all of those 4 elements to become centered, to balance.
Well, this is interesting because unlike the traditional Chinese medicine, which uses a 5-element system of earth, water, metal, wood, and fire, in my Qigong practice that comes from Tibet,
yes,
there is also the element of earth, water, air, and fire. And what you just described is very similar. So I see that there is some similarities. And I always say,
because everybody is going to American model of triangle, and on the top triangle is the sugar, fat, and what else? The third white,
carbohydrates,
salt, all the chips and everything, salt. And the reason they have top, because advertisement that is on top takes a lot of more attention, and then right on the bottom is vegetable, fruits, and I totally changed. My pyramid is upside down, and on the top is 4 elements, and then is the beans, and then we have space for vegetable, fruits, and at the end, it's nothing wrong with the sugar, it's nothing wrong with fat, actually good fat, and salt. Salt is one of the elements, minerals is good, but the way we are using is too much, it's bad.
Well, too much of a good thing can be not a good thing.
Yes, exactly. And then, especially with the cancer patient, they have got too used to all of these wrong foods. it's how you can starve the cells.
Oh, yeah.
That is not hard. That's why I have been very successful in my clinic in Iran, that working with cancer patients and or patients with autism, with the MS. There's a lot of immune disease in Iran right now.
Mm.
Just amazingly, other immune problem in Iran. So, but if we change the whole this practice to coming back to Earth, being close to Mother Earth, it's going to solve a lot of issues. But one thing was very interesting, me going to Iran and working with different masters in Iran. We have, Iran is a poetic country. Everything, medicine is poet. Like Rumi, like Khayyam, like Hafiz. It's all, the medicine therapy is coming, poet therapy in Iran. So,
The art therapy.
yes, and so if you know about Rumi's master, have you heard of Rumi's master? Rumi's book, Maulana, Rumi's book, has been for the last 15 years in the United States, is in top books, best-selling books for the last 15 years.
That's impressive. Given,
very impressive.
Given the longevity of his art in general.
Yes, because he's talking about love, nothing else. He's talking only how, because love is medicine. So, but nobody knows about Attar. Attar is his master, and he did with the 7 ways of love. They call 7 wadi, or city of love, and starts with the first part is searching who, searching you. Then it goes on and on, then knowledge, awareness, and then goes to just being detachment. That is the hard part, to detach, and then go to the selflessness at the end. But that's not end, that's enlightenment starts.
Right.
So this is fascinating. Now it's a 7 conference of words. It's a lot of, right now the book is coming, 7 conference of words, and also one of my friend is translated that also. And then plus what we are learning here, that's all working with the patient to going through that 7 valleys. Exactly the same thing is happening. This is what the bird, it's a bird model he has used, Attar, with the hudhud, they call hudhud. All the birds, they migrate together. And at the end, having the thousands of birds going, each one has like kind of the excuses, like one says I'm hungry, one says I'm tired, one says what's this stupid way to go, and then that's a judgment, all the birds judging and leaving them. At the end there's only 30 birds, and they see themselves, that's them, to come to the selflessness. So that's a Seymour, they call Seymour, who is in the Shahnameh. It's a big story of amazing, it's amazing book by the name of Shahnameh Ferdowsi in Iran. That's a very educational book. So it's talking about how you go to self. And same thing is happening with the wild geese. So what happened? Observing the geese life in China, they have used as a medicine, Chinese medicine, they have taught that model, bringing many other issues there to make the Chinese medicine. In Iran, they have used as a kids game and the kids play. Like the one we have, lagoon here. Yes. And then kids, they can go on the circle, like we got in the circle. When you go to the circle, what lagoon to lagoon we do, keep like this. And we feel each other's chi here, right, Right. And then we go to the circle. And that was our play every morning when I was child. And this is goes historically in the culture. So kids stay happy, and then they're doing everyday therapy because
Excellent.
that play is not anymore this with all of those bad game, but mostly is a competitive. It's not cooperation. It's a competition games they put because it's more excitement. But like the other one, like we call Lili Hozak. See, again massaging lagoon and massaging pericardium, huh? And then it says Lili Rak to Hozak. Each one says where to go. Lili means the name of the girl. All the action the girl is doing. And then it says, I'm a big one, I'm big one. Which is, what's this one? This is a lung. That's oxygen. So that is the practice grandma is doing, mother's doing. And this is very good also what? To prevent arthritis, huh? This, and bring all the chi to the organs.
Right, that's a hand massage.
This is hand massage. We are teaching right now with Qigong, with Tai Chi, but this is the game that kids are playing.
And it's easier to learn and practice
Yes.
when it's a playful rather than a dogmatic approach.
Exactly. And the other one, they do this.
Slightly.
Tapping. All the tapping. That's right now is becoming one of the Qigong's tapping.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of similarities. I bring like Seymour, that bird from, Attar, and bringing the wild geese. It's all happened where all these things happen in the Silk Road. It used to say Spice Road. Because yes, Silk Road was a stock market of today. Today we have stock markets where? In New York, but then we had in the Silk Road, because all the merchant was going to the Silk Road.
Right, that's where the market was happening, traveling across the entire Eurasian continent.
Exactly, yes. And
so-
learning the medical team started right from there, huh?
Right, and
From the wisdom.
along the entire length of Silk Road, not only the knowledge of healing, but also spiritual knowledge and knowledge of self-realization was also transmitted from one nation to another. So basically,
And
it was
compassion.
absolutely. So I'm really glad that we explored all of this today. Now, to round up our interview, let me ask you my favorite question. So what would you say you might consider your secret to your success as a Qigong practitioner and the ambassador of Qigong in other countries, including the United Nations?
It's a compassion.
Beautiful.
I
Any?
love kids, yes, I love kids. I have 6 grandchildren myself.
Wow.
And so, but how much I love kids, I leave them here and I travel. And right now I'm planning to go just to reach some of my goals is I like to have a healing center in Iran, because here here they are giving me land, and I'm hoping in Iran they give me land also, but I want to have in the center more close, having a healing center to bring all of this wisdom entity to one place. Like when you come there, Iran, this center has everything for you ready. It has your space, you can show, everything you can do there. You can see all the indigenous, practice. You can see what's happening with our poet, what's happening with our herbal medicine, very herbal, great herbal medicine in
Sure.
Iran. And
Ancient tradition of
Yes.
medicine.
yeah, and my dream is to see that healing center is in 52 countries, which even was an earthquake in Iran happened, BAM earthquake, 52 countries with no permission from government. They landed in Mehrabad airport, and so all opened their hand and their love to help. And so I like to have a 52 as the wall. It's not a wall, it's a peace wall. These nations, every nation says, what items I have what's my tool for peace and happiness? each country should develop their own peace and happy
And how can
model.
it contribute
Yes,
to the
this
world
model,
peace?
exactly.
Right.
So always have a student, each student sitting there, and then from Switzerland, from from Russia, for Tajikistan, for all of this, people they came to have to model. We focus on peace and healing.
Right.
If we don't heal, we are going to lose the Mother Earth.
Or Mother Earth is going to lose us as human species.
Yes.
The Mother Earth is going to continue on,
Continue
just
in
without
some way.
humans.
Yes.
I totally agree with that. Well, thank you so much, Sonia, for sharing your wisdom with us and your stories about your personal healing and sharing your wisdom of Qigong with other people. Let me just remind our listeners and viewers that you just enjoyed another interview on the Secrets of Qigong Masters, the talk show brought to you by Academy of Qidao, the first and only school in the world offering professional education in Tai Chi and Qigong coaching. To find out about the programs offered by Academy of Qidao and to discover how you too can become a certified Tai Chi or Qigong coach, please go to qigongcoaching.com.